It's okay, make mistakes. People think because of their programming that sorry about that, it is not okay to make mistakes. If it is not okay to make mistakes, being a failure will have you cast into the abyss. So, yeah, that's not the case. People are not cast into the abyss because they make a mistake. It's just, as an employee, you are not allowed to make any mistakes. And that is drilled into our minds because we are programmed to be employees. Failure is a resource. It helps you find the edge of your capacities. Isn't that beautiful? I like that quote. Are you uncomfortable? And that guy looks kind of uncomfortable. Being comfortable is one of the best things that could ever happen to you. Excuse me. If you feel uncomfortable, you're not. If you feel comfortable, I'm sorry. If you feel comfortable, you're not aiming for that quantum leap. In book in page 25 and 26, which they're really small, I couldn't find something that just stood out. It just seemed like those two pages stood out for me. So, if you would just give me a few minutes, maybe a few seconds, minutes, let's say minutes, so I can read this to you because I really liked it. And excuse if I stumble or anything like that, okay? Quantum leaps demands a willingness to make mistakes. You cannot hold up in a safe zone of behavior where you have beaten the odds of failing. An unwillingness to encounter defeat or run into problems outlaws quantum leaps. Unless you allow yourself to make mistakes, to fail, you will never have the opportunity to test the limits of what you truly are capable of accomplishing. You must realize that if you're experiencing no difficulties, problems, or pains, you probably have aimed too low. You've leveled off in your growth and achievement. You probably are far from reaching your limits. So think of problems or pain or slippage in performance as positive sign. A performance lag ordinarily occurs at the very outset when you are making a quantum leap. It's the pause during which you pose for that jump. The temporary loss of momentum that occurs in the process of changing gears. You deliberately destabilize yourself when you break out of the habit patterns that represent that status quo. You create some inner chaos for yourself. So be prepared for the possibilities of confusion, anxiety, and failure. That's part of the opening yourself up to a new mythology that has a potential to deliver exponential performance and gains. So often in life, it seems things first get worse on the way toward getting better. Be prepared for that sort of development. Problems belong in the process. They are part of the equation that produce U square. They are not proof that your ambitions are futile or that you should give them up. As someone has said, everything looks like a failure in the middle. You can't bake a cake without getting in the kitchen and messing in it. Halfway through a surgery, it looks like there's been a murder in the operation room. If you send a rocket toward the moon, about 90% of the time it's off course. It fails its way to the moon by continually making mistakes and correcting them. At the outset, you may feel high because going for the quantum leap is heady stuff. But then the hard reality of problems may slap you in the face. Progress often minuscules as problems. It's easy to lose faith because other people may withdraw their support and be critical of your efforts. That, plus your own anxiety and uncertainties, can tempt you to turn on yourself. That is the crucial point in the process. Don't give up. Failure belongs here. It's a sign of progress. The stress will seduce you toward retreating to safety of the status quo, the trap of the familiar. Just remember this. Failure does not mean you're defeated. Actually, the struggle gives you strength. It's like tempering the steel or the soreness involved in developing muscles. The difficulties are just evidence that you're learning and progressing. So go looking for failure and then use it. Don't interpret problems and breakdowns as proof that you should quit, but instead take them as evidence of your growth and improvement. Failure is a resource. It helps you find the edge of your capacities. Failure is a resource. Don't forget that it's a resource. We need failure to understand what we're doing. We need to have a trial and error when we're doing something new. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be things that we know when we're pursuing what we want.